Maybe what you're feeling right now isn't the greatest. Maybe you're feeling like everything sucks. But you are feeling. And feeling is beautiful. And you're feeling for a reason. And that feeling can completely turn on its face in the blink of an eye, I promise you. And the fact that you're a feeler means that you need to be here. The fact that you're a feeler means that you need to be here. The fact that you're a feeler means that you are here on this planet at this point in time for a reason. I've been reminded so many times in the comments, many of which I've deleted, that my video here about suicide and the afterlife is boring, that I needed to script it, and so on and so forth. So, a year later, this is a reboot. The irony is not lost on me that I post a video about suicide and awareness and mental health on the internet, and people comment mean things to me underneath it. A video all about how it would probably be best to be kind to people when people post unkind comments. But I digress. Here we are. So, suicide and the afterlife. Let's talk about it. First off and foremost, the biggest question that I get in content that I post about suicide and from clients whose loved ones have transitioned as the result of suicide, is it guaranteed that people who have passed by suicide are in the afterlife, along with everyone else who has crossed as a variety of other reasons? Meaning, is my son David, who passed as a result of suicide, in spirit in the afterlife with my mom who passed from a heart attack? Yes, absolutely, unequivocally, 150% loved ones who crossed themselves over as the result of suicide are absolutely in the afterlife, the exact same as everyone else. Does that mean that it is okay to do it? Does that mean that you should go ahead and do it if you are struggling here? No. That does not mean if you are suicidal, go ahead and cross yourself over because you are going there anyways. That is not what that means. Let me clarify. If you are struggling here on Earth with mental health, with suicidal ideation, you should try to solve that. You should try to treat that. You should try your very, very, very best to fight that, just like somebody who is suffering from cancer tries to treat their cancer. It is no different. It is not an out because you are suffering with mental health versus physical health. It is not an out to just succumb to it and cross yourself. Just like somebody who is suffering with pancreatic cancer cannot just suddenly say, okay, pancreas, take me away, without trying to treat it first. You do not have an out because of mental health, just like somebody doesn't have an automatic out because of physical health. They are exactly the same: physical health, mental health. You still have to fight. Do some people choose not to go through chemo and radiation and choose to wait out their cancer? Yes, that is their choice. My point is that they don't get to have the choice of, pancreas, take me away. Just like those of us or those who do have mental health struggles don't have or shouldn't have the choice to say, brain, take me away, and just cross ourselves over. Some of us do make that choice, but that does not mean that I am advocating for that choice in these videos whatsoever. I'm actually advocating for the exact opposite. And that is why I educate regarding what the spirit loved ones who did make that choice and are on the other side as a result of suicide are teaching us as to why they did it and what they now know looking back on it. Additionally, loved ones who are on the other side as a result of suicide don't come through pridefully happy that they did it. They don't want to push you to do it. That is not their reason for coming through and educating us about suicide. They want us to make advancements, to treat one another, to help one another, just like those who are on the other side as a result of diabetes or heart disease or car accidents. They want us to make advancements, just like we used to never wear seatbelts, we wear seatbelts now. We are moving life forward. Suicide is the exact same premise. Further, this is another reason why I do not advocate for suicide. My belief system is that we are here to achieve certain things in this lifetime. I do not believe that we come in with our exit pre-planned. Meaning, I do not believe that our death is pre-planned when we enter this life. I do not believe that we come into our lives with it already mapped out. You are going to die in a car crash. You are going to die of suicide. And this other person is going to die of breast cancer. This other person is going to die of old age or Alzheimer's, so on and so forth. Therefore, if you are having suicidal ideation, I do not believe that it was in any way, shape, or form part of your soul plan. No matter what other people may teach you or say on the internet, you do not know that to be fact. So please do not ever believe that it is your soul plan, your life plan to die by suicide. Nobody who teaches that knows that to be fact. Not a single person. And until that person teaching you that information is on the other side themselves, they will not know that as fact either, and it is irresponsible of them to be stating as such. This is what my belief is. My belief is that we are coming into this time here on earth, in this lifetime, in this particular physical body that you are in now, with the aim of learning specific life lessons. For example, you may be coming in needing to learn lessons about self-compassion, about self-empathy, about self-guidance, like needing to regulate your guidance system, or whatever your specific lessons are. Okay, but I do not think that there are specific areas or specific ways in which those lessons are to be learned. For example, let's say that self-compassion is something that you are needing to work on. You may have 150 different routes that your life may take to learn that self-compassion, and you may be on a certain route to learn that right now, and your life may deviate to 10 different ways that you may learn it. You don't know what a year from now is going to bring. If you exit now, you are not going to learn that self-compassion. If you exit now, you are not going to learn any of the other 5 things that you may need to learn. Further, you don't know what other amazing routes may enter your life. You don't need to learn things in life through negative routes. A positive route could enter your life tomorrow and teach you self-compassion through somebody else. You might learn self-compassion through your own success, through helping somebody else. You have no idea what is coming in the next minute, the next hour, the next day, the next month, the next year. But choosing your next hour, your next day, your next month, your next year, by choosing completion, completely eliminates the capability for any future types of roads, for future paths to learn those lessons, makes them null and void. I do not believe that hardships were pre-planned, that deaths were pre-planned. Do I think that we come into life with maybe 10 different hardships in our lives as possibilities? Sure. We could all have hardships occur in our lives. We could all have abuse, various traumas, job losses, deaths, all sorts of traumatic experiences that mirror one another happen in our lives. Life is fluid. It's those specific life experiences that are not pre-planned. It is the lessons that are pre-planned. But if you are not here to experience them, you are not here to experience the fluidity of life. The odds that you will just need to cycle back in to relearn them anyways is extremely, extremely high. And I can tell you, tomorrow can be better, next year can be better, next month can be better. And what is happening right now will not be what is happening forever. Additionally, people that feel as deeply as we do, as deeply as you do, are needed. We are needed. We are needed on this earth right now for the very purpose of up-leveling, of uprising, of raising vibration. There's a reason that we feel We feel for those who maybe aren't feeling as much as we do. Maybe what you're feeling right now isn't the greatest. Maybe you're feeling like everything sucks. But you are feeling. And feeling is beautiful. And you're feeling for a reason. And that feeling can completely turn on its face in the blink of an eye, I promise you. And the fact that you're a feeler means that you need to be here. The fact that you're a feeler means that you need to be here. The fact that you're a feeler means that you are here on this planet at this point in time for a reason. Now, on to what else Spirit has taught me about suicide in the afterlife. Exhaustion amongst those who chose that path is the underlying common theme. Physical, mental, emotional exhaustion is present in, I would say, 98% of the cases that I have worked with. And I say 98% of the cases that I've worked with because approximately 2% of the cases that I have worked with, and I guess I shouldn't say 2%, I'm estimating that, I've not actually calculated that, but rarely cases of people who cross themselves over literally are not thinking about it and it's super spur of the moment and they just did it without thinking and it was very impulsive. And exhaustion is not necessarily present with those individuals. But with everybody else, they show me extreme physical, mental, emotional exhaustion, almost to the point of their brain no longer functioning, period. Like they literally cannot cognitively function day to day is how they show me. The fog is so thick that they can barely see their own thoughts, metaphorically, is a commonality. This results in not only being unable to share what is being thought of or going on internally, but being too incredibly exhausted to share what's going on internally. This means that the majority of loved ones who choose this are sharing barely anything of what they are experiencing emotionally, barely anything of what they are experiencing cognitively, maybe 10%. So even when there are warning signs present, the warning signs that are present are minuscule, meaning most people who had warning signs are actually letting their family know the bare minimum. And those who did not exhibit warning signs are doing so or not doing so because they're just too freaking tired to do so. And the lesson to be learned here is to not feel guilt about your loved one who has crossed themselves because they were not letting you know what was going on. And in the event that you had an inkling, you did not have the degree of an inkling that you thought that this was going to occur or happen, let alone when it did. And the next big thing to take with it is if you are like one of these people, force yourself to talk. Just like the person who is too exhausted to go to the gym or to run a marathon, but they force themselves to go on that one day they don't want to go anyways. Force yourself to say that one sentence when you don't want to anyways. And I know that that is a lot to ask. I know that that is a lot to ask. And I know that saying that one sentence, those two sentences, to your mom, your brother, your friend, your coworker, whoever it may feel like running a 3-mile race. Run the race anyways. Because those who have crossed themselves over, they show me time and time and time and time again that is what they struggled with, the exhaustion. And if they had forced themselves through the exhaustion and spoke the words, they would still be here. And the exhaustion that you are feeling is temporary. That exhaustion can be gone before you know it. And I know it does not feel like it or seem like it, but it can be. You can be a sun where you feel like a moon. You can be a moon where you feel like a sun. You can be white where it feels black, black where it feels white, and everything in between. So run the marathon, speak the sentence. Walk to your neighbor's house and speak it if you need to. Call the number on the screen. Do what you need to do to force yourself to speak one sentence. That is what they show me time and time and time again, was that pure exhaustion. And if they had done that, they would be here. If they had done that, I would not have these countless grieving families in front of me, week in and week out, going through what they go through. Something else I have learned regarding suicide and the afterlife, and this is important. They thought, those who are now on the other side, oftentimes thought one of two things: I will not be missed, or I am better off not here because I am a burden. And let me tell you, as somebody who works on the other side of this, I work with the people left behind. That is never the case. And the people who are on the other side, they come through with such empathy for those they left behind, such empathy for those who are sobbing, left with PTSD, left with grief beyond grief beyond grief for the rest of their lives. And the reason that they are left with that is because of one seemingly short action that was taken that had everlasting, lifetime-long consequences for those who loved them, that they perhaps did not even recognize when they took that action were going to occur. Choosing suicide, choosing to succumb, causes suicide in other people. So it is like the equivalent of giving your cancer, if you are suffering from, say I'm suffering from breast cancer, it would be like me giving it to somebody else before I die. Me saying, I have terminal breast cancer, but before I die, I am going to wish it contagious and I'm going to give it to another woman. It is like that. And I know that that is inducing guilt. But sometimes that is what it takes for us to be here. One more day, one more hour, one more month, until things turn around and we become that sun where there is moon, until we become that black where there was white. And I know that people often will say, or I will see on social media, I shouldn't need to feel as though other people love me just because I'm dead. It's not that they don't love you. It's that your illness is making you feel like they don't. Or you are so low right now that you're not seeing that they love you. You will get to a point where you see that they love you. Because I see them. I see your moms and your dads and your sisters and your brothers in front of me after you're gone. And they are ruined. Their lives are upended. Your wives, I see so many wives and moms and sisters. People are left with PTSD from their loved ones crossing themselves over. They love you so much. And those who are in the afterlife, when they cross themselves over, well, they may not be tortured or sad or angry over there because we do not have ego. They have empathy. They have empathy for what they're seeing. That means that they still see it. So you're not experiencing the negative emotions over there, but you're still watching your loved ones suffer. You're still watching them suffer because of those choices, because of that choice. And I can promise you, anyone who makes that choice and succumbs is going to have people suffering just like those that I see. Just like those that I see week in and week out. For those left behind, I do want to reiterate again, and I do give a bit more information in this video, so watch this after, but mental health is physical health. They are the equivalent of one another, and thank goodness we are making strides. But if your loved one did choose this route, first of all, the guilt should not be present. And I know that it is part of the grieving process, and I know it is impossible not to have. And I know it is just part of your processing. But they do not want you to feel guilty. They didn't do this because of you. They did this because of themselves. They did this because their brain was sick. They don't want you to feel guilt. I know that that's impossible, but they truly, truly don't want you to feel it. I go into quite a bit more detail in that video about thought processes and what all is kind of goes into it and such. But guilt and combating the stigma is a big part of starting to feel better. Or not even starting to feel better, I should say, of starting to allow the fog to lift, I guess. Regarding that stigma, we need to talk about this more. We need to talk about this more because the stigma surrounding this, people are afraid to say why their loved one passed. And they're afraid to say why their loved one passed because they're afraid of the judgment. But I can promise you, the judgment is not actually judgment. The judgment is more so about it hitting too close to home for the people that you're saying it to. And those who are judging you are assholes anyways. So just say it. Say it. And if somebody is an asshole, let them be an asshole. But the majority of the people who act strange are acting strange because they fear that in their own life. Because mental health issues touch every family in modern times. I was going to say in modern America, but it's not just America, it's everywhere. Mental health touches every family in modern day times. So when you say, my loved one passed through suicide, it triggers something in them. And if it triggers judgment, screw them. But I can almost guarantee you 8 out of 10 times it is triggering fear in them because their son is struggling with mental health, their brother is struggling with mental health, their dad, their mom, their sister, their best friend, somebody in their life is struggling. Maybe they are struggling themselves. And if you don't give it words, it continues to hide in the closet, it continues to hide in the dark. The best thing to do for your loved one's memory, your loved one's existence in your life, because they're still there, your relationship is still present, is to honor their struggles so that their struggles can help someone else's present day struggle so that they do not succumb to the same disease, so that they do not succumb to the same issues. And finally, the reason that we should give it legs and let it see the light of day is because suicide and mental health, overdoses too, they are not any different than any other cause of death. There should not be shame. We need to get rid of this. They burn in hell. They struggle with horrible karma and so on and so forth. Yes, maybe they need to come back and learn the same lessons that they didn't learn here, but so does everybody else. Maybe they died when they were 95 years old and they died a complete tool because they treated people like crap. I don't know. But other people need to repeat lessons too. My point is that other causes of death are caused by the physical body, and suicide is caused by the physical body as well. It is caused by the brain. That is why we don't just say to ourselves, brain, take me away, pancreas, take me away. It is caused by the brain. It is caused by, quite often, external factors such as social trauma, external traumas. It is caused by chemicals in our body. It is caused by brain issues. Other causes of passing, same thing. External factors. They say cancer can be caused by, chemicals, things we eat, exposure to toxins. Heart disease can be caused by what we eat. Also, let's talk about how nobody refers to people who die from lung cancer or diseases that we inflict on ourselves going to hell. Nobody applies stigma, ever. So why do we do it with suicide, right? Mental health and physical health. They used to be over here. One over here, one over here. They slowly are moving closer and closer together. They are here. So the more we speak truth to light, the more we are bringing them closer together. And that is what happens. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more every time you speak about your loved one's cause of passing rather than hiding it in the dark. I'm going to tie this up here. I do have several videos on this subject on my channel, which I will link, and I'm sure I will make another video soon in the future on this subject matter. It's something I'm pretty passionate about and I speak about pretty often. Otherwise, until next time, much love. Bye.